Welcome. This is not just a video. This is your wake-up call. This is a moment of truth. And today you will look at yourself honestly, perhaps for the first time in a long time, because deep inside you know the reality. You are not operating at your highest capacity. You feel pulled in many directions. You feel stretched thin. You feel worn out. You keep beginning projects, but something always pulls you away. A fun chat, an easy distraction, another opportunity missed. But let me make this perfectly clear. You were not created to be average. You were not created to endlessly browse, hesitate, compare your life, and surrender. You were born with a purpose, a drive, a special reason. And if you don't fight for a better tomorrow, if you don't commit, you risk leaving this world with your true talent still hidden inside. You believe you have plenty of time, but consider this. How many brilliant ideas are lost forever? How many future goals were never attempted? How many stories ended before the most exciting chapter began? Today is not just any day. It's a fresh start. It's a powerful message to get up, concentrate, and fully dedicate yourself to your goals before the chance is gone. I will guide you on how to maintain focus on your goals. Even when the world gets complicated, these 10 strategies are more than enough to transform your focus, your perspective, and your future if you take them seriously. So, if you are prepared, if you are tired of watching others succeed while you remain stuck, then pay close attention because I'm going to reveal how to build unbreakable concentration even when life is total chaos. And we start with the single most impactful idea. 1. Define your deepest purpose. Forget about being motivated every day. Forget about harsh self-discipline. If you cannot clearly articulate the purpose behind your actions, you will never sustain focus. So what is your purpose? Not the social answer you provide to others. Not the one that sounds impressive, the core one. The one that motivates you to start listening practice at dawn. The one that inspires powerful emotions when no one else is watching. Maybe you want to honor your family. Maybe you want to rise above challenging circumstances. Maybe you want to offer your future children the freedom you lacked. Maybe you simply want to look in the mirror and say, I made a difference. That purpose is your engine. Because when challenges arrive, and they definitely will, your mind will try to find an easy exit. And at that exact moment, you need to remember your purpose so strongly that giving up feels much worse than continuing to push. A memorable example. Consider a student who struggled with public speaking. His goal was not just to speak English, but to be able to present his humanitarian project to potential global sponsors. His why was helping others. He made a silent commitment. I will master this language to give a voice to my community. And every time he felt like stopping, every time his voice shook with fear, he visualized the people he wanted to help. That was his purpose. That was his engine. And now he travels the world sharing his message and saving lives. So now ask yourself, what is your deepest purpose? Capture it, voice it, feel it. Because without it, focus will dissolve. But with it, you become unstoppable. You don't require daily motivation. You move because your purpose is stronger than your pain. 2. Execute the one task that matters. Let's be real. Most people fail not because they are lazy. They fail because they are mistaking motion for progress. You check every email, you reply to every chat, you organize old files, you browse news. But none of those activities bring you closer to your major objective. Here is the undeniable truth. 1 hour of sharp focus on the single most important task is more valuable than 10 hours of scattered energy. So what action should you take? First thing every morning, before looking at your phone, ask this. If I could only complete one activity today that would significantly advance my dream, what would it be? Then commit to only that. No checking social media, no starting multiple things, no finding excuses. This is the essence of high leverage work, and it is the birthplace of outstanding achievement. Example: there was a woman working in a low-level job. Long hours, minimum wage, no support system. But every evening from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., she practiced English conversation with a language partner online. Just one skill, just one focused area. While others watched shows, she practiced. While others rested, she built her fluency. 2 years later, she got a remote job for an international company. Today she earns 10 times her old salary because she dedicated herself to the most critical task every day without deviation. So you must ask yourself, are you just filling your time or are you being productive? Do you want tangible results or just the feeling of being busy? Because the individual who focuses on the one thing that truly matters each day will always surpass the person attempting 50 useless tasks. As the great philosopher Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This highlights the necessity of focusing on one important step every day with total dedication. 3. Protect your top 3 priorities. Let me share a deep secret. Most people are exhausted not because their workload is too heavy. They are exhausted because they are engaging in too many activities that don't matter. You claim you want to achieve success. You claim you want to maintain laser focus on your goals. But when we review your day, it is filled with everything except your goal. You respond to every notification. You accept every social invitation. You perform tasks just to please others. You prioritize everyone but yourself. And this is how dreams disappear. Not through spectacular failure, but through constant distraction. What does establishing clear priorities truly involve? It means you stop treating every request as urgent and start guarding the activities that genuinely matter. It means asking yourself, does this current task move me closer to my main objective, or is it merely consuming my time? Let me share a powerful exercise. Grab a piece of paper. Draw 3 sections. 1. In the first section, list everything you wish to accomplish. 2. In the second section, list everything you currently do every day. 3. In the third section, state your number 1 goal. Now compare them. If your daily actions do not align with your final goal, success will remain distant. It's not luck. It's not fate. It's logic. You have the same 24 hours as every successful person, but they practice saying no far more often than yes. They don't spend energy seeking validation from others. They don't chase every possibility. They chase one primary objective and they invest their everything into it. Henry David Thoreau once wrote, "Our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify, simplify." So, here is your immediate task. Write down your 3 highest priorities. Eliminate anything that does not directly serve them, and stop apologizing for dedicating yourself to your dreams. You are not required to do everything. You simply need to do the few things that matter every single day. Because when your schedule is full of unnecessary noise, your goals become difficult to hear. But when you remove the noise, your purpose becomes a clear command. 4. Audit your time allocation. I need you to pay close attention to this section because this concept has changed countless lives. You complain about lacking time, but the reality is you don't even know where your time vanishes. Let's perform a quick reality check. Imagine your life is a daily budget. Every 24 hours you are granted $24. That's 1,440 minutes. That's 86,400 seconds. And every single second you are spending it on something. But here's the crucial point. You can never reclaim that time. Once it is spent, it is gone forever. Now reflect. Where did your time go yesterday? How many hours watching short videos or movies? How long complaining about other people's failures? How many minutes doubting, comparing, waiting for the perfect moment? You feel trapped, but in truth, you are simply mismanaging your resources. Let me provide a profound, real-world example. There was a programmer who worked a demanding 10-hour job. He had family obligations. He traveled 2 hours to work daily. But every morning before his family woke up, he sat down with his language learning app. He reviewed vocabulary. He listened. He recorded himself speaking. Just 45 minutes a day, but every single morning. Now, 5 years later, those 45 minutes daily led to a promotion. He built a successful secondary income stream. He gained freedom, not because he was given extra time, but because he maximized his limited time. Now ask yourself, where is your time escaping? If you spend 3 hours a day scrolling through news feeds, that is 1,095 hours a year. That is 45 full days. What if you invested that time into learning complex grammar, into perfecting your accent, to building your business, to exercising, reading, growing? You could radically transform your entire life in those 45 days. Lack of time is not the core issue. Your decision-making is. So, here is your practical assignment. Monitor your time for 3 full days. Document every activity hour by hour. Identify your energy drains, not just the major ones, but even small ones like 10-minute coffee breaks that become 30 minutes. Schedule your work blocks as if your entire future depends on them, because it does. Set a clear timer. Disable notifications. Close your office door. Store your phone out of sight. Work with the intensity of your last chance, because it might be. 5. Harness your peak energy windows. Let me reveal a simple truth that school never taught us. Your brain's capability is not constant throughout the day. There are specific periods when your mind is as sharp as a diamond. And there are periods when you feel like a tired sponge, unable to absorb anything. We all possess peak energy windows. The 1 to 3 hours each day when our cognitive function is at its absolute best. But most people, they waste those precious hours on checking email, responding to texts, reading random articles, or thinking about tasks that don't contribute to their growth. They dedicate the clearest version of their mind to low-value activities. And then when it is late evening and their brain is running on fumes, that's when they attempt to work on their biggest goals. That explains why it fails. So what is the solution? Identify your peak windows. Ask yourself, when do I feel most mentally alert? When do I produce my best ideas effortlessly? When do I feel fast, focused, and efficient? For many, it is the early morning, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. For others, it is late night when everyone else is asleep. Find your optimal time. Document it for 1 week. Do not guess. Observe your own energy. Protect that time as if it were your most valuable possession. Imagine this. You are the commander-in-chief of an army. Would you waste your most critical strategy session chatting about trivial gossip? No. So why treat your personal dreams any less seriously? During your power hours, put away your phone, lock your door, silence all alerts, set a countdown. Do the single task that moves your goal forward. Whether it is writing your essay, preparing your lesson plan, memorizing vocabulary, practicing a presentation, do it when your brain is operating at maximum power. Because what you can accomplish in 1 concentrated hour during your peak time is 10 times more effective than what you achieve in 5 distracted hours later. Let's make this actionable. You usually wake up at 7 a.m. Most days, your first action is picking up your phone. You browse. You text. You respond. And suddenly, it is 9 a.m. You have spent your most powerful cognitive hours on activities that yielded zero return. Now visualize this. You wake up, no phone. You sit immediately, and for 2 hours, you practice listening to the latest video on English Listening Lab. You take notes, you speak, you work on your dream of fluency. By 9 a.m., before your colleagues even start their day, you are already in the lead. You have already completed a major part of your plan. You have already seen progress, and your mind feels highly capable. That's the extraordinary result of using your peak energy windows. And the best part, you don't need the entire day. You need just 1 or 2 hours of full, intense focus every single day. Commit to this for 90 days, and your life will be completely unrecognizable. 6. Recognize procrastination as self-sabotage. Let me state this clearly. Procrastination is not a minor issue. It's not a harmless quirk. It's not just, I lack energy today. It's a slow, deliberate harm. It's a thief. And every moment you procrastinate, it steals from your future self. But you don't feel the damage instantly. It does not hit you like a sudden blow. It is a quiet, gradual drain. And that is what makes it so lethal. Let me illustrate how it works in practice. You wake up, you feel a little overwhelmed. You promise yourself, I'll start my project after I watch that show. Then you say, maybe after I run that errand. Then it's 4 p.m. You say, fine, I'll start at 6 p.m. on the dot. 6 p.m. arrives. You say, I'll just check social media first. Suddenly, it's midnight. You go to bed and your most important goal is still waiting, still unfinished, still in the exact same place it was yesterday. That is how life slips away, one unnecessary delay at a time. Why do we procrastinate? Because we wait for a miraculous mood. We wait for external inspiration. We wait to feel perfectly prepared. But you will never feel completely prepared. You will never feel 100% confident. You will always experience some hesitation, some worry, some internal resistance. So here's the absolute truth. If you wish to succeed in life, you must develop the skill of acting before you feel ready. If you wait for the right feeling, you will wait indefinitely. If you wait until the fear vanishes, you will never move forward. How to instantly defeat procrastination. The 5-second rule. The moment your inner voice says, I need to begin my assignment, count 5-4-3-2-1 and move. Get out of your chair. Open the software. Begin typing. Start. Why is this effective? Because your brain finds excuses instantly. So, you must initiate action before the excuses can form. Make it ridiculously easy to begin. Don't declare, I'll write an entire chapter. Say, I'll just open the file and write one single sentence. Because starting is the point of greatest friction. Once you start, energy appears. Momentum builds. One sentence becomes five. Five becomes a page. It is exactly like physical exercise. The hardest part is not lifting weights. It is putting on your sneakers and stepping outside the door. But once you start, you immediately feel better. You feel energized. And you think, why did I waste so much time waiting? Always remember the cost of your delay. Every time you procrastinate, you are not merely wasting minutes. You are slowing down the realization of your dream. You are postponing your success. You are delaying the life you are meant to live. Ask yourself, if I choose an action today, what will my life be like in 10 years? That unpleasant feeling, that vision of a future you want to avoid, use it. Let it drive you. Let it awaken you. Because procrastination is not about laziness. It's about avoiding immediate discomfort. And when you confront it, you are finally free. 7. Your physical health is your focus tool. Let me pose a simple question. Can you perform a complex task if your main tool is malfunctioning? Can you maintain focus on your complex goals if your body is fatigued, your stomach is heavy, your mind is cloudy, and your motivation is low? The answer is clearly no. Your body is your primary tool, not your apartment, not your laptop, your body. And if you neglect it, your dreams will gradually fail. Not because you're unskilled, but because your physical system cannot support your mental ambition. Let's review this logically. You constantly consume unhealthy food. Your brain operates slowly. You sleep less than 6 hours every night. Your mind struggles with clarity. You fail to move your body. Your confidence decreases. You sit for extended periods. Your motivation fades. This is not just motivational talk. This is biology. This is direct causation. If your body is drained, your brain cannot focus. If your diet is poor, your concentration is weak. If your system is full of sugar, your mind is full of static. Now, you might argue, I will prioritize my health later. I must achieve my goals first. But let me be brutally honest. You will not achieve your maximum potential if your body collapses midway. What use is achieving success if you constantly suffer from pain? What good is money if your energy is completely depleted by noon? So, here is the necessary action if you truly want to become focused and unstoppable. Treat sleep as your greatest advantage. Sleep is not idleness. It is your brain's essential process for recovery. When you sleep 7 to 9 hours deeply, your brain eliminates toxins, restores focus, locks in learning, and dramatically improves attention. Do not browse online at midnight. Do not sacrifice your mental capacity for minor entertainment. Protect your sleep fiercely. Engage in daily movement. You do not require a gym membership. You do not need expensive equipment. You simply need your feet, your lungs, and 15 to 30 minutes of physical activity. Walk, jog, practice yoga, dance, stretch. When you move your body, you stimulate the release of powerful neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin. They boost your mood, lower stress, and exponentially increase your focusing power. Nourish your body for peak performance, not just to satisfy hunger. Stop consuming food as if your body were a waste bin. Eat clean. Eat light. Whole grains, fresh vegetables, water, natural proteins. Limit sugar, limit fried food, limit processed junk. You cannot build a billion-dollar dream with a broken machine. And your body is the machine that controls everything. You complain you cannot concentrate on your language lesson, but you haven't had water since morning. You skipped a healthy breakfast. You had candy and sugary drinks for lunch. You only slept 4 hours. How can you demand sharp focus from an exhausted, undernourished, dehydrated mind? It's not a fault in your character. It's a fault in your daily habits. And the moment you correct those habits, your brain will function at a level you haven't experienced in years. So next time you feel sluggish or unable to concentrate, pause and assess your body first. Because no matter how ambitious your plan is, you still reside inside a physical form. And if your body fails, your focus will inevitably fail, too. 8. Find the rhythm between effort and recovery. Listen very carefully. This concept is fundamental because this is where many people lose the long-term battle for focus. Most people exist at two extremes. They either constantly seek immediate pleasure, gaming, endless scrolling, excessive consumption, gossip, avoiding difficult tasks, or they live in perpetual suffering, overworking, chronic stress, emotional exhaustion, depression. But life was never designed to be lived exclusively at one end. You cannot survive purely on pain. You will break down. You cannot exist only on pleasure. You will stagnate. So, here is the essential truth. You must master the balance. You must create a life where effort serves as your foundation and recovery acts as your reward. Let's break this powerful idea down clearly. A. Use discomfort to build resilience. You find it hard to start listening to a new, complex English podcast. You find it hard to stop eating sweets. You find it hard to sit and work on one difficult problem. You find it hard to resist the urge to quit studying. That is normal. But here is the critical understanding. The more you actively avoid productive discomfort, the further away your goals will remain. Discipline is uncomfortable in the moment, but its long-term payoff is far superior. Self-belief, true autonomy, deep satisfaction, internal power. Discomfort is not your adversary. Discomfort is a clear indication that you are developing. Therefore, learn to embrace difficulty. Learn to declare, yes, this feels challenging, but I will see it through anyway. And eventually, your brain stops labeling it as pain. It begins to see it as a source of strength. B. Use true rest to regenerate, not to escape. Now, this is the common mistake. People don't rest. They are merely escaping reality. After a brief period of work, they immerse themselves in heavy food, hours of low-value videos, or digital distraction. Not because their body needs rest, but because they are trying to avoid facing the next task. That is not rest. That is avoidance behavior. True rest means you complete your demanding work first. Then you reward yourself with meaningful rest, a walk in nature, quality time with loved ones, engaging music, good conversation, a nutritious meal. It's about earning the break. When you follow this pattern, hard work feels worthwhile. Relaxation feels complete and guilt-free. And this vital balance provides you with something revolutionary, sustainable, long-term focus. Let's apply this to a daily routine. Visualize this structure. Morning. You wake up early. You complete 2 hours of uninterrupted, deep study. Afternoon. You eat a balanced meal, stretch, meditate for 10 minutes. Evening. You complete another 1-hour block of focused work. Night. You engage in low-stimulation relaxation, listen to calm music, speak with your partner or family, watch one planned show with complete peace. Now compare this to waking up late, watching social media while eating breakfast, starting half-finished work, constantly checking messages, feeling deep guilt by the evening, binge eating and binge watching for 3 hours to silence your guilt, sleeping late, repeating the cycle. Which routine leads to success? Which routine demonstrates self-respect? Which routine actually builds a successful future? The answer is obvious. 9. Eliminate the poisonous triggers warning. Let's start with a challenging truth. Your mental capability is intact. Your potential is not lost. Your ability to focus is not permanently damaged. You are simply living amidst triggers that are actively destroying your capacity to concentrate. And what is most alarming, most of these triggers appear innocent. They are concealed within your device, in your daily routines, in your immediate environment, and sometimes, sadly, even in your relationships. But gradually, silently, they are eroding your focus from the inside out. Let me define this phenomenon clearly. What is a trigger? A trigger is anything that pulls your attention violently away from your important task. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It distracts. It leaks your energy in small amounts until you have no reserve left for your goal. Triggers don't tell you to abandon your dream. They tell you, just look at your phone for 1 second. Let's watch one short video. You have plenty of time later. You deserve to relax first. Everyone else is enjoying their life. Why shouldn't you? Sounds familiar? Now think about the consequence. Every time you encounter one of those triggers, your focus is completely reset. Your mental state degrades. Your energy level drops. Your plan is postponed yet again. The issue is not a lack of willpower. It is your surroundings. It is the triggers in your everyday environment that subtly dictate how you use your attention. Let's be concrete. Where are these triggers hiding? A. Your smartphone. The single greatest trigger. Be honest. How many times do you open your phone without a conscious reason? Once every 30 minutes? More? Research suggests the average person interacts with their phone thousands of times a day. You might argue, I need it for my online English classes. But examine your screen time report. Look at the time spent on short, fast-paced videos, unimportant texts, aimless browsing that offers zero benefit to your life. These are mental hazards. They are stealing your time, not through force, but by engineered habit. And the impact is deeper than time lost. It concerns mental clarity. After 30 minutes of scrolling, try to deeply comprehend one challenging grammar rule. Try to focus on a complicated work document. Try to think critically. You cannot. Your mind is fragmented. You have been triggered into a state of constant, shallow stimulation, where focus cannot survive. B. Your physical space. What surrounds you influences your actions. Your room layout matters. Your desk condition matters. Your physical surroundings are either empowering you or dragging you toward confusion. Imagine entering a room, and this is what you see. Papers everywhere, dirty dishes on the desk, your phone constantly flashing, a chaotic playlist running, multiple half-finished books scattered around. Now tell me, can you genuinely sit down and execute deep, focused work in that setting? No, because what your eyes register, your mind must process. Your environment constantly triggers your internal state. So if your study area is full of visual noise, clutter, and distractions, your focus will be unstable, weak, and easily diverted. You cannot achieve high mental clarity amidst physical disorder. This is why successful individuals meticulously control their environment. Clean desk, organized books, phone out of sight, simple visual field. It is not just about being tidy. It is about protecting your neural energy. C. The people you interact with. The silent loss of energy. This is a tough truth, but you must internalize it. There are individuals in your circle who may appear friendly, but every interaction leaves you feeling uncertain, guilty, drained, overly critical, negative, or confused. They undermine your goals. They mock your dedication to studying. They make you feel silly for working hard. They send you distracting memes precisely when you are trying to concentrate. And slowly, they become emotional triggers. You are not just wasting time talking to them. You are wasting precious mental energy recovering from the negative impact of their words. Focus is not only about performing the work. It is about defending the quality of your mental space that allows the work to be done. And sometimes that requires establishing clear boundaries with individuals who consume your attention, even if they are close. How to effectively remove toxic triggers. Perform a trigger inventory. Take a pen. Create 3 columns. 1. What activity derails my focus daily? 2. What is the origin of this distraction? 3. How can I completely eliminate or drastically reduce it? Be honest. Write things like, checking TikTok in the morning leads to 1 hour delay. Phone next to bed leads to poor sleep. Loud background music leads to weak learning retention. Negative friend kills my desire to try. Once you see the pattern on paper, it becomes undeniable. Then it becomes manageable. Implement removal or blocking strategies. Place your phone in a drawer in another room when studying. Block distracting websites during your power hours. Keep your study area minimalist and purposeful. Use earplugs or dedicated noise-canceling headphones. Communicate clearly. I need uninterrupted focus from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Please only interrupt for emergencies. Protect your mental boundaries as if they were your last line of defense, because they are. Replace the habit. You cannot simply eliminate triggers. You must replace them with positive actions. If you create a vacuum of attention, your mind will feel restless and seek the old habit. So replace endless scrolling with focused reading, gossip with purposeful planning, noise with calming alpha wave music, comparison with positive self-reflection. Offer your mind a better, higher value alternative, and it will follow the path of least resistance to success. 10. Embrace the beauty of repetitive practice. Let's stop the fantasy. Let's face the simple truth. Achieving any worthwhile goal in life is rarely exciting. It's not glamorous. It's not immediately viral. It is, frankly, monotonous. And it is repetitive. Day after day, the exact same actions, the same routine, the same effort. When no one is watching, when no one is celebrating, when no one seems to care. And this exact point is where most people give up. Because the modern world has trained you to chase quick motivation, intense inspiration, high energy, and constant novelty. But focus, the real, enduring focus, is built in quiet moments, in the predictable routine, in the daily repetition of small, simple tasks that feel insignificant but accumulate like stone blocks into a fortress. Let's consider the practical application. What does positive repetition look like in your life? Listening to the same English listening lab video 5 times until you understand every word, even when you feel tired. Practicing the same verb conjugation for the 10th time, even when you are bored. Committing to your reading session, even when you are not feeling inspired. Opening your vocabulary flashcards again and again, even when your mind feels slow. Reviewing the same key phrases twice to ensure full retention. Preparing your plan for the next day every night, even if it feels automatic. This is the unglamorous work that results in mastery. But here is the standard failure point. They begin with great enthusiasm. They push hard for 1 week, and then they stop because the initial excitement is gone. Let me ask you something fundamental. Did your parents feel excited every day when they went to work to provide for you? Did your mother wait for a spark of inspiration to prepare dinner? Did your father need a daily parade to pay the bills? No. They did it because it was absolutely necessary. because it was their responsibility. Now your goal, your dream of professional fluency, is your responsibility, not your hobby, not your mood, not your passing interest. It is your vital mission. And missions are built on unwavering commitment, not temporary excitement. But why is repetition so incredibly powerful? Because repetition creates new neural pathways in your brain. Each time you execute the same task with focus, you strengthen a habit loop. You reduce the internal resistance. You increase your skill mastery. You generate momentum. Suddenly, what was challenging becomes simple. What was daunting becomes automatic. What felt impossible becomes a natural part of your identity. This is the process athletes use to train. This is how musicians achieve mastery. This is how all creators achieve lasting success. Not with one spectacular effort, but with small, daily actions executed with fierce consistency. Consider the simple act of tying your shoes. You do it every day without needing motivation, without thinking, without applause. Why? Because it is now an integrated part of who you are. You do not wake up and say, "I don't feel inspired to tie my shoes today." You simply do it because repetition has made it automatic. Now imagine if you treated your learning goal like that. Imagine if consistently working on your English dream became just as automatic as tying your shoes. No internal debate, no emotional resistance, just daily, predictable repetition. That is when your true power is unlocked. Because now you are not working on your goal only when you feel like it. You are working on it because you have become the kind of person who always does the work. The ultimate secret? Monotony is the training ground for mastery. If you feel bored, that is a positive sign. It means you are performing the necessary, difficult work. You are exiting the shallow world of distraction and entering the deep world of mastery and genuine purpose. So, do not quit when the work feels boring. Instead, lean into it, accept the challenge, and realize, this is the process that makes me stronger than everyone else. Because the majority of people give up the moment boredom sets in. And if you don't, you win. I know life presents difficulties. I know your mind gets overwhelmed. I know there are days you feel like surrendering. But listen to my words. You possess more strength than you realize. You are not walking this path alone. Our channel, English Listening Lab, is here for you. You are not lazy. You are not fundamentally broken. You simply needed the truth. You simply needed the right strategy, and now you have it. So do not pause here. Do not wait. Begin now. Maintain extreme focus and never surrender your dream. Your goal of fluency is real. Your successful future is waiting. And I promise, if you continue this journey with English Listening Lab, we will grow together. We will achieve success together. We will radically change your life and elevate your English proficiency one step at a time. So subscribe now and hit the like button to ensure you do not miss our next essential lesson. Join this vital journey, and I will see you in the next video. Let's make this happen.